But Joe stayed with us and finished the war out after that one. But it's just the way things happen in war. That night, we lost a Jeep and 2 trucks. My pack and Joe Roach's pack were on the top. We didn't keep them in the holes with it, and they were just shattered. That same night, a fella waited until the chow truck came, shot his trigger finger off, wrapped it up, had already packed his gear up and climbed on the chow truck and went back. And later, he was in Massachusetts, lived in Massachusetts. Somebody sent us an article from a Massachusetts paper, Hero Returns. Well, I gave a talk somewhat different than this at 6th grade, my grandson's class. And one of the girls asked me if World War II veterans had mental problems. Well, you didn't hear as much about mental problems with World War II veterans, but we certainly had them. We would call Joe Roach combat fatigue. World War I, we would call him shell shock. But we had them, and I can't not watch Battleground whenever that darn picture shows. And then I have 2 nights almost sleepless with that thing running, different things running through my mind. So World War II veterans had this, but we just lived with it. In a town called Moorville, Les Vic, Cannon Company got credit for knocking out 8 88s. 88 was a German artillery piece, far superior to anything we had in that it could fire at ground troops, it could fire as artillery, or it could go right straight up in the air and fire at airplanes. The German 88s were our nemesis, and we got to know them, we got to know the sound, we knew whether to duck or whether to let it go overhead. But they always said the one you don't hear is the one that gets you. I talked about my first miracle. My second miracle come after a month or 2 on the gun crew, when they sent a Jeep from headquarters for me, and I was, what did I do now, you know? PFC, that's all I ever made till after the war. But because I had high math scores, they wanted me to come into headquarters and help them plot firing by map, because we were going to be in a holding position. And they thought with my math so-called ability, I'd be able to plot these courses, and we were firing on crossroads or any concentration that we thought might kill some Germans. And I did that for about 3 days, and I heard a crash out front, and I went out, and the captain's Jeep had run into the back of a 2.5-ton truck. And the Jeep driver had injured his knees. So the captain saw me standing there, he says, "Do you know how to drive?" I said, "Yeah, I know how to drive. I'd never driven an armored vehicle in my life. I hadn't driven a civilian car." So from that day on, I was the captain's Jeep driver. That got me out of that hole. A few days after I left that gun, it got hit. It got hit on the trail, which were the arms that come out the back to stabilize the gun. Sergeant Swole, my squad sergeant, was killed. Corporal Nisley, the corporal who pulled the lanyard, he was seriously wounded, and 2 of the other men were wounded. So I call that my second miracle. For some reason, it was not my turn to die. November 26th was a Memorial Day for us. We got taken off the line and given our first shower. 3 showers, 1 bath, 9 months. There's a lot of kids who love that, but we didn't like it. The shower, they had like a regular 18-wheeler trailer. You stood on this side, took all your clothes off. I mean, all your clothes. Walked in there, they gave you a bar of soap, something like this. salt water soap. You could hardly make a lather with it, no matter what the water was. And then you split, and they had showers going down the sides, and they gave you 2 minutes of warm water to soap up. The water went off for 1 minute, came on again for 2 minutes to rinse off. You went out the other end, and there was a humongous pile of clothes. These were clean clothes, but no water. You just fished in there, found underwear, then found pants, then found a shirt. The only thing you got back were your shoes. And that was a GI shower during the war. But we were glad to get it, to tell you the truth. In December 8th, we started firing on the Maginot Line, which was the French equivalent to the Siegfried Line. And the Germans had cut holes in the western side to fire at us. And there is a picture of one of the pillboxes here. And the captain, I was the captain's driver. It should have been a lot safer job than it was. But he had a couple of traits. He wouldn't go to bed until he visited every platoon, and the platoons were often split up. We had 2 guns in each platoon, 3 platoons. We were in 104th Infantry, which had 3 battalions, so 2 guns went with each battalion. So we would go into 3 different battalion areas, usually at dusk, to make sure the gun crews were dug in and safe and all that before we were back. And then he liked to go up in the observation post, which was the most dangerous place for any cannon company to go, because you had to stay right with the infantry there and direct the fire. So when we got to the Maginot Line, he wanted to see how the cannons did on these pillboxes. Well, I didn't even dent them. These things were, well, you can see in the picture, really thick concrete, I don't know, 5 or 6 feet of reinforced concrete. So we had Air Force observers with us, and they called in the Air Force, and they sent 2 P-47s over. One would fly top cover, and the other would dive bomb this pillbox with a 500-pound bomb. And even though he hit it, it didn't really destroy it. But the Germans sort of lost their nerve. And one of the infantrymen was able to sneak up and fire a flamethrower through one of the ports. And then they came out. They were glad to come out then. So I have this everlasting love for P-47s. And they supported us quite a bit. In January 9th, we were in Aiken, and for the first time, we were firing on German soil. And not long after that, we were in a place called Epling, and we were relieved by the 65th Division, this one that I had taken basic training with. And my cannon company that I took basic training with relieved my cannon company that I was in with the 26th Division. A lot of the NCOs were the same. I was a combat veteran, and I really laid it on them, I'm telling you. They laid it on me in basic training, and I laid it on them for their baptism of fire. Then I felt bad about a week later. They got overrun, they lost a lot of men, they were firing their cannons, direct fire at tanks, and they had a terrible time. And that was, 2 weeks into battle, we ran into something like that, which was really, really tough. We went back to Metz for another shower. We were in reserve. We were staying in some old German barracks, some of the best quarters we'd ever had. Got another shower, and they started the Battle of the Bulge. So after about 4 or 5 days there, we piled in our trucks, and we drove all day and about half the night. The only food we had was a D-bar. That was American's emergency ration. And it was a chocolate bar about this big, bittersweet with the emphasis on bitter, and hard as a brick. And that's all we had. We got into like a staging area, Vic Herscheid in Luxembourg, and we just slept right alongside the trucks in this farmer's field. We didn't bother digging foxholes or anything. We couldn't hear any artillery. By then we had sleeping bags. Earlier we just had 2 blankets and you fold them this way and that way and then you shelter half over the top. But now we had sleeping bags, and I got all the way down as far as I could, and then it snowed that night. See, it must have snowed 5 or 6 inches. And in the morning, it started trickling down my neck, and that was the end of the sleep for that day. We had a guy called Father Connors. He was one of the old men, probably 40 years old, which was really old in those days, because we called guys 24, 25 old men. My company commander was 27. And Father Connors could always find booze. No matter where we were, he could come up with a bottle of booze. And he drank all the way up on that truck ride. Got out, laid down, no blankets, no truck. In the morning, he was about half froze. They took him back and we never saw him again. And I still, to this day, don't know what happened to him. We advanced north to relieve the 101st Airborne and the 28th Infantry Division. You only hear about the 101st Airborne, but the 28th Infantry Division was just as stuck in Bastones as the 101st. We went through a whole bunch of towns and had a holding position for a while in a town called Esch-sur-le-Shore in Luxembourg. This was a tourist town, very pretty. The Shore River flowed through it, and there was a bridge crossing the Shore River that whenever we went to headquarters, we had to cross that bridge. The Germans had a lot better maps than we did, and they were shelling that bridge on a regular basis. But being precise Germans, they shelled it on the hour and the half hour. And we would wait until it was our chance to go through. And I was sitting at the top with a headquarters company Jeep, and we waited for the shelling. And when the shelling stopped, he said, "You want to go first? Be my guest." So I waited about 2 minutes because we never followed each other in a combat situation. The Germans must have had a hung-up shell, come in late, and just after he crossed the bridge and hit his Jeep, I come along and I was going to try and help him. His head was laying in the gutter. Blood was dripping out of his drain hole. And I ran. I left my Jeep sitting there. And I ran all the way down to company headquarters. I started telling the captain, the first sergeant, what happened. The captain says, "Go back and get the Jeep." So, I was scared. I broke all Olympic records getting back here to get that Jeep back. While we're in that position, both houses on each side of the CP got hit. We got half the roof knocked off of the house that we were staying in. So I call that one of my miracles. That I didn't get killed on that bridge. I had a terrible cold. And it was getting so I could hardly breathe. And I thought, I'm going back to the battalion aid station. So I go back. And I'm walking toward this tent, and on both sides of these guys are really seriously wounded. When I took a look at them, I can't go in there and say I got cold. So I got a 5-gallon can of water, and went back and told the captain I was going to lay down. And I laid down with this 5-gallon can of water for about 2 days. And it seemed to work. I finally got rid of that darn cold. Then we went into a town called Wiltz. And Wiltz is, before I leave Esch-sur-le-Shore, we went back there on the 50th anniversary, and I had the bus stop at this bridge. And right where that Jeep driver was killed was this big concrete urn with flowers in it. And then, I've been maintaining that thing for 50 years. That kind of stuff is kind of heartwarming, So we went into Wiltz, and we chased a really beautiful house. And we chased this lady out, and that had a bathtub, and it was still running water. So we heated the water on the stove and had another bath. That was a great experience in Wiltz. We were actually on the right flank of the 4th Armored all the way up into Bastogne. But I never got into Bastogne. I was a few miles out of it when we went back down and started our war against Germany again. We went into a town called Saarlouis. An interesting thing there was they used something called artificial moonlight. They brought up the